Hi everybody, it's Suzanne from Star Photography. I just wanted to hop on here and show everybody how to fix a couple of things. This is one of my students' images and it's wonderful. I'm so proud of him. So there's a couple things that I wanted to fix on his final edit, and so I wanted to start with the raw file and bring it into Photoshop, and then um, do my edits in Photoshop as well. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is play with some of the things over here on the sidebar. It's a bit underexposed for me. I typically like to expose the skin so that I'm already getting a nice creamy skin. So I'm actually going to bump the exposure up. And then I am going to bump a couple of the shadows up just a little bit. And that looks pretty good to me as far as color and everything. We can fix this foot in Photoshop. And then she does have a little bit of jaundice, it looks like, in these areas. So I can fix that in Photoshop as well. So I'll go ahead and I want to open. Okay, so I'm going to bring it into Photoshop. So I'm going to edit in Photoshop. Okay, so here is my picture here. The first thing I'm going to do is get her centered and fix the background here. Pull this stuff out. Okay. All right, so now I want to play with her skin here. So I used some action sets. The first action set is from KMP, so Carrie Myers, and it's called No More Purple Feet, Purple Hands and Feet. So I typically do it at about 10 to 15%, kind of depending. And I'm going to go back and forth here on the No More Red Hands and Feet and the No More Purple Hands and Feet. Because she's kind of got both going on in here. So I want to pull some colors out as I go to make sure that they look good. She is getting a little color cast too coming back from this. Um, so that's causing some of the issues. I'm going to pull some of the red out of her hand as well and kind of randomly, whenever I see it, it's a little too much. I don't want to pull too much out because it'll start to make her foot look really funky. Um, so you can see how much I've pulled out there. Oops. All right. So let's flatten that. Um, so now I want to fix a little bit of her jaundice going on up here, where she looks a little bit orange. So I'm going to use the jaundice action. And this is from MCP. It's not really bad. I see it just a tad in her nose, in her chin, just a little bit. Some orange kind of around her eye. Bring it down just a little bit because it's okay, just so you can see. It's very subtle, but it's definitely there. And if I felt like I had done a little too much, I could bring it up or down. Um, and I see a little bit in her back too, right here. If I paint on too much, I can always remove it. But I like the way that that looks. Okay, I'm going to paint some of the orange off of her, which is the reflection happening back here. But the jaundice fix helps remove orange anyways, so I'm going to paint a little bit of it off of back here. Okay. That on her hand, the reflection. That's really the only place that I see it. All right. Happy with all of that. I'm going to flatten. All right, so her foot is still kind of on the purple side, and I'm not loving it. So I want to remove some more, but not, oops, wrong one. Oh, okay, I'm going to do color balance, and excuse me, I'm going to fill, and then I'm going to paint on here. I'm just going to kind of play a little bit. Obviously, this is going to be at 100%, so it is not going to be what it's going to look like. I'm going to have to bring down the opacity. So. See if I add more magenta or green, you can kind of play with what it looks like. If I add more blue or more red. Typically, if you add more red, then I can remove some of the red with still not getting it to look like it's alive and not like it's a dead foot, because that's kind of what you're going for. So trying to remove all that magenta away from her foot. Oops. So you can see how it's removing all that blue from her foot. So what I did was I backed off the blue on both sides, the cyan and the blue. And so that's going to help me get all that blue off there. She is still a little yellow back in here. But now that I've added red, I can remove the actual red from her foot. So I like the way that looks. So now I'm going to go in here and let's try this one. This is just a goodbye redness action. So it's just going to take the red out. It's going to leave that yellow in there that I put. We've already covered that blue. So that's looking pretty good to me. Much more natural and less purple. Some babies just have purple feet. It's just the color that they have. Sometimes this pose can bring out the purple. So you just want to watch when you're posing babies. So I normally do this a couple times just to make sure that I haven't gone over the blanket, or, sometimes your eyes can get a little funky. when you look in too much. Her back toes are a little purple. So I'll just come use this one here. I should be able to take it out of her back toes a little bit. Now I'm probably going to have to remove some red here. And I painted on the blanket, so I'm just going to put that up. Make sure that I painted off the blanket. Okay. All right, so there's that. So much better as far as the feet and the skin tone overall go. Typically, I do, especially for girls, the baby lotion. Like really smooths their skin out. This is another of the MCP newborn necessities. It's the MCP. I think who that is now. It's the newborn necessities. Think of who it is. So I go at 100%. Just kind of smooth her out a little bit here. So you can see it with and without. I always bring it down. And I'm going to make sure that I paint it off of her here. Her eyes are just a tad bit magenta up in here. So come in. The purple removes the magenta. Just go a little bit. Okay. Pretty good skin. Still see a little jaundice around here. But I like zoom in closer. Almost done. Oops. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. All right, and that's going to be it.